Hi everyone, welcome to another interesting session. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is your boy Sam, all the way from Ontario, Canada. I want to thank all my elders. I want to say a big thank you, and also to all my subscribers. I want to say a big thank you. Today, I won't take much time. I just want to discuss something crucial, something that is imperative, and before relocating to Canada or to any Western world, this topic will help you guys. Okay, so now let's start. Uh, Before relocating to, let me use Canada for example, coming here to Canada, you know, uh, there's something I want to tell you guys to do, and that is a short-term plan and a long-term plan. Okay, so before you decide or you decided to relocate, there are some things you have to do which I call proper planning. Okay, you have to throw out your plans, map it out, and how you will execute it. Okay, for instance, you want to come to Canada as a student. Does it end there, just being a student, or you want to come to Canada to school? From schooling you work, from work you get a permanent residence. From a permanent residence you get your citizenship. So when you look at it with what I just said, it's a long-term plan, right? Maybe you school 2 years, you work 1 year, you get your PR, making it 5 years. Citizenship, you get it maybe 6 to 7 years, right? So it's a long-term plan. So I want to advise you guys to not to focus on the short-term plan, but to incorporate everything, the long-term and the short-term plan, in both, all the phases, right? Incorporate it together, because I've seen that most people just come to Canada. Okay, I just want to jackpot, come to Canada as a student, but after schooling, what's the next thing that I want to do? So, and one thing again is that once you have planned ahead, right, you just be following your plannings, right? And even if you want to make changes, along the line, it won't be difficult, right? You just add, you subtract, add and subtract, you incorporate, right? So now this lead me to uh, this subject I want to say right now, this point I want to say right now, that is choosing your destination in Canada, and also considering some other factors, right? Now you want to come into Canada to school in one of the provinces that we have in Canada. What are the things that you need to consider? It's not about just getting admission into school here in Canada, because the region you're going to is cheap. You just focus on the tuition fee, right? Because it is cheap, and you're looking for admission into that institution and to that province, but you left some other crucial things, like how much is the house rent in those places? How can I get a job in those areas? Or let me say in particular, in that area. Then how can I get permanent residency in that area, right? These are the things you need to consider. It's not about just school, getting admission, because I know most people coming here or relocating, it's not majorly only school, although school is paramount to us, it is important to us. We want to develop ourselves, but it goes beyond that, right? I know for sure 80% of people want to reside here legally and do things, but what I'm just trying to preach here, or to tell you guys, is how you can plan so that you won't be frustrated in your journey, right? So when you're going to school in that region, in that particular province, have you thought about how much is the school fees, house rent, how much is the utility bills you're paying in that area? Because when you focus on the school fees alone, and you don't focus on how you sustain yourself, how you can get a job as a student in those areas, are there enough jobs there that will go around, that will, like, you'll be able to select or pick different jobs? These are the things you also need to consider. It's not only the school purpose, like the tuition is low, then you rush that area. What about you, look into how to, focus on how to get permanent resident in that area, how you can get a job in that area, what is the house rent in those areas, and even the taxes that they pay, because we have different taxes in different areas here in Canada depending on the province or the province where you reside. These are the other things you may need to consider, right? Then how to get a job as a student. Is there enough job for students in those areas? So these are the key things you need to focus on. Not only the school that doesn't accept English IELTS, and not because the school is cheap, because these are the two things that we just focus on. Please help me to find a cheap school in Canada, sir. Help me to look for a school that doesn't accept IELTS. We have enough, but what are your chances of getting a job as a student in those areas? Have you considered the house rent in those areas? Have you considered the taxes in those areas? Have you considered the food, grocery you'll be, buying in those areas? These are the other things that get people frustrated when they come into, the country. Also, the phone bills and other, utilities generally. These are other crucial things you may need to consider before relocating. Okay, so my suggestion or my advice is that don't focus your energy or your scope only on low tuition fee and schools without IELTS. Consider some other things, even how to drive, how to be able to get your license, driver license in those areas. What are the requirements? These are the things, because laws in Canada are different depending on the province, or let me call it states where you reside. The law that binds you in Ontario might be different from the law that binds you in Manitoba or Saskatchewan. Although we have some federal laws that bind us together, but we still have some state laws as well. Okay, so this is the gist I have for you guys today. You have to consider everything together and you package yourself very well before you migrate. Okay, I think I've added one or two values today, guys. Okay, and I think you've learned one or two things right from this video. I'll see you some other time, guys. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for watching my video. It's the humble boy Sam, all the way from Ontario, Canada. I'll see you some other times. Bye.